listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by. On the morning shift.
Anything
could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Thank you very much. There you go, right away. No sound. Thank you. It's the one thing, out of the 30,000 things to do in the morning. And if I don't click that mute, if I don't have it on mute, then you hear us just bantering and talking and sneezing and coughing while the intro's on. But then if I don't remember to hit that mute button,
it's all for naught.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for joining us on CKLU 96.7 FM. CKLU.ca if you're listening online. If you download the Radio Player Canada app, you can hear us anytime, anywhere on your favorite device. Also, thanks for joining us on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Thanks for commenting. Good morning, Lise, as usual. Thanks for joining us again today. And thanks for letting us know that there was no sound. And again, right? See how you're part of the show? We say that every day, and it's so true.
Yes,
yeah. So good morning, Billy. Thanks for joining us in the hot seat.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Hopefully you feel comfortable there. I know you had to do some mic adjustments this morning.
Yeah, it's not the same as my my comfortable seat over there, but
yeah, because you're used to it. It's like home because you're there quite a bit too, not just today.
Out. Yeah. Here I kind of I talk really soft, so I kind of have to scrunch up close to the microphone here.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have a chance to go online and go to YouTube, you look up Billy Brumiller, and you can catch his tunes that he's just recently completed. And talking about soft voice, that's what reminded me to plug you, because you definitely have like that, Alan Parsons, a little bit of the, very soft, Pink Floyd-y kind of David, what's his last name? Pink Floyd, the guy.
Gilmour.
David Gilmour,
wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for remembering that. See, our two minds make one mind when it comes to trying to remember things.
You get the first name, I'll get the last.
That's exactly right. We both have the same issue where our mind goes blank just when we need to have our mind work. So
there's certain keywords throughout our life. It's like, for some reason, that word, I've tried to find it 100 times in the past week.
Yeah. I have the same, but we went through that with mine, and I was able to figure out an association for my hard words. So we'll just have to figure out the same thing for yours, possibly. Right?
Yeah, I know what they are, but I can't think of them.
Exactly. Anyways, thanks for joining us, all y'all out there in streaming land and on radio land. And thanks, Facebook and YouTube monitors, for doing your job. We know that you have an important work to do, and that's to make sure that everything is on the up and up, and that nobody's stepping over bounds with the community standards and things like that. So thanks for joining us today. Also, we're going to get into a little bit of weather, a little bit of sports, and then right into our headlines today. We got a lot to cover. We didn't really get to the closing of the post office yesterday and the impact that the one downtown, and how that's going to make an impact on the community, and especially those that are most vulnerable. Also, the water park has been going downtown, and Ramsey Lake, and talk a little bit about that. And then right into the main story of the day and all the different angles on it. There's like 5 or 6 stories within the story, and that is the Kingsway Entertainment District and whether it is dead. Is KED dead, or is KED alive, going to stick around for another day of debate? Because I think that's all that it's going to be. If the council will meet today, 2 p.m., and going to be discussing all kinds of things. So anyways, we'll keep our finger on that pulse, but we'll be unpacking it this morning. First, your weather. So currently it is 15 degrees. It is humid. So humidity is about 91. And the forecast for today is cloudy with 40% chance of showers. The wind is north, 20 kilometers, becoming light this afternoon. High of 23. But if you're out already or even inside, you can really feel the humidity. I know I can. But the UV index will be 5 or moderate. Tonight will be cloudy with a low of 14. And then let's look ahead at our extended forecast. Wednesday will be, which is tomorrow, chance of showers, 30% chance of showers, high of 22. And as was consistent with yesterday's long-range forecast, Thursday and Friday seem to be sunny. And then 30% chance of showers on the weekend, both for your Saturday and your Sunday. All of the highs, 25 for Thursday and Friday. And it seems to be, even though there's a chance of showers, probably some hot days on the weekend, because if there's a chance of precipitation like that, it means that the humidex will be up and the heat will feel a lot hotter. But that is your long-range forecast right here on Sudbury News Talk. We'll be back with a little bit of sports after this. The Sudbury Junior Spartans only lost their first away game. They won every single game after that. They've been on a tear. They're going into the playoffs, and that's this Saturday, July the 16th. So, press release comes out of the Sudbury Wolves Sports and Entertainment Group. The Junior Spartans close out a regular season last Saturday, finishing first in the OSEL Under-16 AA Division. They look to host the quarterfinals matchup this Saturday, July the 18th, at James Jerome Field against the Quint Skyhawks at 4 p.m. The Junior Spartans set the tone for the playoffs in their last regular season game convincingly by defeating the Clarington Knights 60-1 to clinch the first position in the division for the playoffs after losing their first development game to the Durham Dolphins in May. The juniors rolled up their sleeves and went on to win all of their regular season games, being the only team in the AA Division to do so. By scoring an average of 34 points a game and giving up only 9 points, they secured the home field advantage for both the quarterfinals and the semifinals. The league finals will be played in London on August the 6th. Tickets are still available. Sunday's playoff game, you can get your tickets at the gate. Kids under 12 get in free. And the Spartans quarterfinal game, as said before, juniors will be playing this Saturday at James Jerome Field, 4 o'clock. Then the semifinals to be announced and who they're going to play if they win will be Saturday, July the 30th. As mentioned before, here, if they win, they'll be playing here July 30th. And then London, if they reach the finals on the 6th of August. Spartans men's team are off this week and will play their last regular season game Saturday, July the 23rd in the Sioux at 7 p.m. Playoffs for the men's team are set to get underway in the week of August the 6th. For more information, please visit SudburySpartans.com or follow the Spartans on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Shop Spartans merchandise at the new location in the same mall, Sudbury Center, New Sudbury Center, during the regular mall hours, or online 24/7 at swse.ca. And at James Jerome Field during the Spartans games, you can get all your Spartans swag. You can get hats, you can get shirts, you can get all things Sudbury Spartans. Get out and support the juniors this weekend, 4 p.m., James Jerome Field. It'll be a great game. We'll be back right after this. All right, so headlines today. We got lots to talk about, and we want to involve your comments and you in the conversation. So as usual, make sure to like and share the video, get it out. I want to start with that after headlines. I want to start with how the page has been doing, and I want to really thank those that are watching and listening for their support as the page is growing substantially in the last little bit.
Wouldn't happen without them.
No, it definitely would not happen without you. So thank you very much. So what are we going to be talking about today?
This post office thing's pretty interesting. It says there was 2, now there's 1. But so the only downtown post office option is now in the Shoppers Drug Mart, but some people have been banned from the store. So the unhoused, as they call it here, which I think they say makes up about 15 to 20% of those that would normally get their assistance checks from, I guess, the post office. They are banned from the Shoppers Drug Mart location.
Really?
So it's a pretty high percentage here.
Huh. Well, I'm looking forward to talking about that for sure.
And
the unhoused too, right? There's that new verbiage that I don't know. Have you heard that before? The unhoused?
Just from this article.
Oh, yeah, me too. I thought, oh, here we go. It's like George Carlin did a little bit on words and how they change over time. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah. Well, I guess, homeless is not quite right because maybe they do have a home, but it might not be in a house. Or, it's, yeah.
The home's not in a house.
They don't have a house. And
what's the verbiage again? House?
Yeah. So I think it's gone from homeless to unhoused.
Unhoused. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they do have a home. Some people
well,
could.
I don't know
some
if they
people
do
could
have
a home.
It's
and be in that category.
It's hard to find the perfect word that describes everything uniform, but so the evolution of words.
Weird, yes. But unfortunately, it's sad either way. Whatever you want to call it, it means that there's a marginalized group of people that are not able to get their mail now.
Yeah.
And that means checks, some of them, that would get, instead of getting, you get you're going to get your checks because you don't have direct deposit or whatever.
Yeah. So there is the Give Go project. Says Shoppers Drug Mart is not truly accessible to everyone since many are banned from the store.
Yeah.
They support more than 200 people, including nearly 150 who are either frequently or permanently unhoused, according to Ali. She and Small estimate that between 10 and 20% of their clients are not allowed in the Shoppers Drug Mart.
Wow.
So that's
crazy.
the situation, yeah.
I'm going to put you in the corner here as you're talking.
Yeah.
So here's the article on you see your little...
I guess I got to move this way.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So there's the article there on our Facebook page. Can we unpack that a little bit after getting through some of the other things too? Or do you want to go right in now? And
yeah, I think
it all apart.
Did I cover all the meat? Because I'm not too sure if there's anything else.
Is there potatoes?
There's a few potatoes.
Okay.
And carrots.
Okay. Any butter?
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah, we should probably move on because I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not finding it fast. I'm not.
Okay, no problem.
Quick that way.
Yeah. So talk about that, and there's the mayor's thing. We just want to remind everyone that there's the debate going on the 1st of October at the
debate for what?
mayoral
the mayoral debate, okay.
debate. It's going to be going on October the 1st. All y'all are invited. So let's see here. We have Reba chiming in. So, but unfortunately, I'm just getting the comments up on our Facebook page now. And what Sudbury has done to the homeless is sad. Other cities help them. We hinder ours. Well, that's going to be the theme of the show, I think, in many ways, shapes, and forms, other than just homelessness. We seem to have a hard time doing a lot of things in the city.
Is there another closure story you were talking about?
A closure?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought that was kind of a theme.
Yeah. Not necessarily. I don't know. Another closure. Yeah. We did talk about there's an MP from a candidate from Sudbury for Ward 5 right here, who's talking about the city having a hard time here building things, whereas North Bay has no problem whatsoever. So
that's chock full of figures and data.
It is it? Hard to just cover in one little scoop.
But it's good. But the numbers are pretty small. Like they're talking, city had a budget of $12 million for a renovation. This was, I believe, North Bay they're talking about.
For the arena.
Yeah. And it seemed like a big, I guess that was probably some time ago too. So
yeah.
I mean, things have really ballooned in the past couple of years.
Exactly. So Ward 5 candidate Mike Parent wonders why, when it comes to arenas and casinos, North Bay has managed to do what Sudbury could not. And that's true. Let's just do this. I like that too, Tale of Two Cities. I kind of think that's interesting.
North Bay is also imminently beginning construction of their new community center with twin ice pads.
Wow.
The total cost to North Bay taxpayers will be approximately $41 million.
That's it.
Again, that's
very
an estimate.
Low estimate, but still very low.
Mm-hmm.
And the city has secured low-interest loans to cover the $90 million for the arena and a $9 million to bring service to build pre-pandemic estimates, though. There you go. So it could be more than that. Recent estimates suggest the cost would be likely ballooned to $150 million. And that is for the new arena with the...
Are you talking Sudbury or North Bay?
I think that's North Bay. World-renowned company specializing in arena construction. They get a world-renowned company to do their construction. Declined to submit a proposal. One of three companies pre-qualified. So this is... The council ignored the data and the facts that were presented to them and instead opted to build a new arena outside the city at a location with no existing services infrastructure next to a dump. Okay, that's our arena. Some proponents of the project provided misleading and false information to the public about the development, which now included a new casino and a hotel. Opposition groups formed and stalled the project. So, when we're getting into this today, that's going to be one of the things, too, that this whole thing is really layered, what Sudbury's doing, right? We voted on, arena downtown, arena outside. But then there was also the idea of a casino, this that we didn't really talk about here. Maybe the city, maybe the members of the city didn't want a casino. But we already voted we're going to put the arena out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like really discombobulated this whole thing, the way it started. We want a new arena. Okay. Well, how about we put a casino with it? And how about wait a minute here. Okay. There's all these factors going in.
True.
We already have a casino.
To be fair, these big projects are like very fluid. Like
yes.
They typically.
But I don't know. I think technically if you start out with an idea, like a good solid idea, and you just carry it through, I mean, that's why I think this councillor's talking about North Bay, Two cities located 120 kilometers apart. Both cities wanted new arenas for their OHL teams. Casinos also for those to enjoy the experience for the community centers with twin ice pads. So again, we both wanted these exact same things as the way the councillor is putting this story. Mm-hmm. So we started out at the starting line the same. And then The smaller of two cities mulled over a number of options for their OHL arena. City Council mayor ultimately decided to renovate their arena instead of build a new one. So they renovated.
Did they go with the twin ice pads? They don't have a twin ice pad thing?
Located in the heart of the city. Maybe it's going to get to that. So I'm more than likely it's going to get to that. It was more affordable to do the renovations, so that's where they started. So, okay, they made a decision. They went for it. City had a budget of $12 million, as you mentioned, and the actual cost ended up being $16 million. So it was more than they anticipated, just like we have a problem
Always
here in the
goes that
city.
way.
However, only $4 million more, and it began at 12, and it was only 16.
Mm-hmm.
A lot less than hundreds of millions of dollars to begin with, and hundreds of $1 million more. The city worked with the casino operator to find a suitable location to build a casino at no expense to the taxpayers. Today, the casino is contributing to the city's tax levy. Finally, this city's leadership fostered healthy relationships with the federal and provincial governments because they do have some historically tied people, including our finance minister is the former mayor of North Bay. That helps. But at the same time, it is a thing that you're gonna exploit if you can.
Yeah, it's an interesting juxtaposition for sure.
But we don't know whether or not they're saying they're giving money to North Bay and not money to Sudbury at the same time. It just means he's from there, and it's probably easy to pick up the phone or go for a coffee and make the decision. You know what I mean?
Could be, but the numbers are still pretty small.
And they're small,
regardless. So,
exactly, they're very small.
What year was this? How long ago was that?
Just a couple of years ago. They've done this all during the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So, they have good relationships, receiving funding $25 million for its community center with twin ice pads, leaving approximately $26 million for the city to cover, which the city usually is going to put in an amount. And that's what we're voting on today, Council. Are we going to put over $100 million of tax money into something?
So are you saying the casino is in the same building as this ice pad?
No.
No, okay.
No, all three separate. They're all three separate locations.
Right. So you got to add that, if you add them all together, now you're...
Yeah, for sure.
This one building is going to incorporate all three of those, right? And a hotel and all the...
The KED is, but now we're talking about a $100 million library, which is a different building. And we built Place des Arts, which is a different building.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of take all those projects and put them into what it's costing the city too,
apples
right?
to apples kind of thing.
Yep.
Like, they're going to have these three things and they're separated.
Yeah.
So,
but again, we started out at the same starting line.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, okay, we want a casino, we want a new OHL arena, and we want, other projects. But we're still, the only thing we got built was Place des Arts, which was kind of an afterthought.
Yeah, that's a different thing too.
It is.
Like that's probably a different budget, I think. Like in terms of its
still takes money from the city too, and the city had to approve it and give the money and get federal funding and get provincial funding and all that.
There is some city money, but I don't think
built
it's
in
largely
the city
money.
No, not largely city money, no.
Yeah.
But still, again, here they're talking not much city money to these projects either.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking, comparing the city, the ice pad, the casino, and the
OHL
and the
arena.
OHL, got to compare that to what they've done over there.
And theirs are already they're done. They're built.
Right. Didn't they do renovations?
Yeah, instead of building a new arena, that's something we could have done too. Well, we could have renovated the Sudbury Arena and with gold-plated seating. You know what I'm saying? They could have really renovated that thing.
Is that what Sudburyans want? I don't know.
I think, we had a big debate about it.
Did we ever have a referendum on it?
We didn't. The city council voted.
Yeah.
Voted to not build the arena downtown and build it in New Sudbury.
And we have this conversation a lot where we know there's some potential value in the, what the revenue streams of this. Is this thing going to be potentially profitable?
Yes.
Because it seems like it could, when you hear the pitches from that side about how it could create, again, bring in a lot of the hockey tournaments and these events.
Yeah.
Especially the casino. But again, I haven't really seen the information on that, so I'm still kind of...
There's lots of information. There's lots of money flying around, and So this would be, potential counselor here who's running Ward 5 says the larger of two cities paid consultants hundreds of thousands of dollars for a report to recommend where a new arena should be built. And guess where the report recommended it should be built? Downtown.
Huh.
So we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to get experts to decide where it should be built. And the report recommended that downtown would be the best location to build the new arena. So, but we voted that no, we paid for the experts, and then we said, no, we're now going to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways,
well,
I don't know. We're just talking about what's happening and all of that. And it happens. Yeah, it did happen for sure. Yeah. That's what happened. And
well, when you pay for experts, you can hire the ones that are going to give you the result you want. So it depends who hires what expert,
No, that's true. The council ignored the data and the facts that were presented to them by this particular outfit that they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for to tell them, and instead would build the new arena outside the city at a location. And this is the wording of this particular person, by the way. A place exists with no existing infrastructure next to a dump. Some proponents of the project provided misleading and false information to the public about the development. Okay, now we don't have facts that corroborate that statement. Again, that's from this particular person that's running for council, which now included a new casino and a hotel. Opposition groups formed and stalled the project, which did happen. So again, if it would have been transparent at the beginning, are we putting an arena downtown? Is there going to be a casino with it? Is there not going to be a casino with it? Is there going to be a hotel with it? Is there not going to be a hotel with it? Let's get what we're voting on first straight. There was all these, okay, it's an arena. Okay, just an arena? All right. Should it go downtown? Should it go in New Sudbury? But then once it was voted on going to New Sudbury, oh yeah, okay, we're going to put a casino there too. Oh, wait a minute. You know what I mean? That's just, it makes things confusing.
It does.
Like, why wasn't it all looked at the same time?
Well, that's great. You've been involved in projects before, and I know I have
for
too.
Sure.
Where it's like, I got this idea.
But not like, big like this.
Let's add on to it.
I understand.
And just kind of, yeah.
But I do like the point that this particular
ideally that's the way to go. So
he's comparing. We're doing a little experiment here. We're looking at two cities right beside each other, doing the same thing, and looking at the results of one city and looking at the results of another city. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great way to kind of a litmus test on how we are doing with a comparable.
We should be comparing to a lot of different cities.
Kind of thing, right? Yeah. So we're the only city in the OHL that doesn't have a new arena. Mm-hmm. So compared to all those cities, that tells you something else too, right? Yeah. Means they were able to do it and we're not. So that tells you something. Mm-hmm. What does it tell you? I don't know. It's up to you.
That is that's where the opinions differ. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Why is it? We're all wondering why? What is going on? What's this here? It says, WikiLeaks on Sudbury. So, okay, that's interesting. I did not know. Did you know there was a WikiLeaks Sudbury? You did, didn't you?
No, I did not.
WikiLeaksSudbury.org. Interesting. Thanks for sharing, Reba. Huh. There you go. So maybe there's some information on that we need to be looking up.
There's probably a lot of information out there.
And again, it depends who's behind the page and where they're getting their information from too, and whatever. Yeah. So we're just
that's all positive. Like the more investigation, the more the better the transparency. The better it's going to be for everyone in the long run. So
yeah. So then goes on to say, it was estimates pre-pandemic that it would be 90 million. 90 million to bring the services to build the location. And then recent estimates, it's up to 215 million.
Which I think is now 150 million.
Well, that's the other story. Let's get to that one too, right? So,
yeah. And if you, in that video that you posted on your page, I'm not too sure. I think it's the contractor with the winning bid, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Was saying, or maybe it was suggested to him by the anchor who was interviewing that, well, maybe this was the Cadillac that you initially sort of quoted on, and if it's scaled back. And so I think during the course of the interview, he said, they would be submitting an amended suggestion, and it wouldn't have. I guess the initial had everybody's wish list, things that everybody wanted on it, and this was a little more scaled down. So 150 million, which how projects go.
Yeah. So this one on CTV, you said you've seen this already.
Mm-hmm.
Let's mute it, because just in case there's a comercialos. That's Spanish for commercial. And I think we should maybe have a peek at this and then and see what they're saying. This is the new builder talking about maybe we can approach this project and have a little bit less of a budget and streamline it. Am I correct on that, Billy?
That's what I got.
Kind of talking about. Okay, and they like to have 2 commercials now on these. So let's get to. Let's get to this now. We'll share our screen. It'll be all together good. And here you go. This is a CTV story on this right here.
Sudbury Entertainment District project in Sudbury, one that would involve a new city-owned arena or event center, as it's also called. A new staff report going to City Council next week says the cost has ballooned to $215 million, and many are saying that is too much. Now, the project could be scrapped or possibly modified to bring down the cost. Joining me now to talk more about this is Gary Hauk. He runs Ball Construction out of Kitchener, which is part of a successful group awarded the contract this week to build the new event center. Gary, thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
Glad
to be here. We're excited about the project with our joint venture partner, Tesk.
Yes, I hope that it can go ahead. I mean, a lot of people hope that it can go ahead. Tell me about your company's experience in building arenas. Where have you done this before successfully?
Yeah, so our company has built a lot of community centers, recreation centers, 40 ice pads in the last 30 years. But particularly similar to this project was 5 event centers that we built. We built the Sarnia Sports and Entertainment Complex. We built the Guelph Sleeman Center. We built the St. Catharines Meridian Center. And we did major renovations to the Belleville Yardman Arena and the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium over the years in our hometown.
Okay, so that's a pretty good resume.
Yeah, we feel it's super important on these projects to involve the local labor and trades. So we teamed up with Tesk Construction as a joint venture partner on this one, similar to the way that we teamed up with Rankin Construction, a local contractor in St. Catharines, when we built the Meridian Center. So, yeah, we're excited about it. Our whole team is, and we're really hoping we can get this thing off the ground.
Well, let's talk about the what it'll take to get it off the ground, or shovels in the ground. $215 million price tag is a no-go from what we're hearing, but I gather your company was asked to submit a proposal based on a design wish list from the city and not really based on budget. So really what you submitted is a Cadillac, but are you able to and willing to dial it back for a more modest design and price?
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly it. So we, the first stage of this process, it's a 3-stage process. So it's developing a concept with a budget and a fee, and that was the first challenge. So we went through that and we're successful with that. But it's basically based on everybody's wish list. Everybody wants to build the best building they can, and there's no crazy things in there, but everything costs money. The number of seats, the size of the building, all the features in the building. So when you add it all up, it comes up to a certain cost. The next step is the design development. When we really get into the details, we haven't had the opportunity yet to sit down with the city other than a few, teleconference meetings that we could really go through things, but we haven't met and worked with the operator yet. So I think all the user groups,
Gary,
working with the operator, that's where a lot of these things come together, and we can really work out a budget that's a target budget that's going to work for everybody, and then show everybody what they can afford and what we can put in the building to meet that target.
Gary, let me ask you,
I've
only got a few seconds left, but can you do that quickly? Because next week, City Council is supposed to make a choice whether to go ahead or to scrap it or perhaps modify it down to a more comfortable number in 15 seconds or less. Can you do that? Can you take off some bells and whistles?
Well, I think we could quickly just identify some major items, some target items that we would look at. I mean, we can do that fairly quickly and at least have a scope of work that we could all work towards.
All right, well, let's see what happens next week. I appreciate your time on this, and there's been some good information you've given us. Thanks again.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Billy. Oh my goodness. You know what? I need to get something like on my person, like a button, like
Just
like
need a big
Star
red light
Trek
whenever
has.
that mute is pressed. Yeah.
I don't know. I need a big arrow or something pointing to the mute button. Anyways, what do you get from this developer from Ball talking about the partnership with Tesk and some of the things that he just said there? I know I got some opinions on it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to submit a what is it? Kind of like 3/4 of the original, and seeing how that flies.
So originally, when we were talking about the arena, and I saw the plans for it back 3-4 years ago now, they wanted to build the exact same size arena, meaning the same amount of seating as the current Sudbury Arena. If you were going to go ahead and spend hundreds of millions of dollars, if you were doing it, would you have a goal of making it the same size of the current arena? Or what would be some of the things you would be thinking of when you're building a new edifice that costs hundreds of millions of dollars?
Me, I think, again, I'm just, have very little information to go on. I remember hearing something about a double ice pad, attracting way more potential. So that was something that caught my ear. And being from the music, tech world, I know a lot of the casinos had attracted a lot of major artists because they're very easy for artists where it's kind of turnkey. They don't have to unload their huge trucks of gear, like where they sort of have these ones, they just sort of bring their stuff on stage. It's all set to go and they play. It's like a very affordable, something that if you go to arena like the Sudbury Arena, it might not be as viable because it's like, well, we got to get a crew, unload these trucks. It's a big setup. So I thought, if you had a casino and you want to put a venue, it'd be nice to have that sort of turnkey style. You might attract, a few more people stopping across Canada on the way.
And that's my sentiments too, equally as yours, knowing it's kind of a selfish thing for me, that, a casino could have detrimental effects on a community as well with people gambling problems and whatever. And if you put that aside, and I'm looking at it from a selfish point of view, I'm like, do you know how many great concerts we could get in this city if we had a casino? Great artists coming, like you said, because they do like the casino tour or the casino circuit because they don't have to carry around all their own equipment. The casinos have the in-house equipment all ready to go for them, and it's just plug and play.
Yeah.
Now, on that same vein, if you have the larger artists, the ones that of the Lady Gagas of the world, let's say, they don't play venues with seating less than XYZ.
Right.
So there's certain artists that only play venues with certain amount of seatings. There's certain tournaments like the Memorial Cup, for instance, where all of the best Canadian Hockey League teams face off against each other, and the tournament brings hundreds of mega millions. Just a lot of it brings millions. So whether that's hundreds of millions or whatever it is, it brings a lot of money to communities to host these events, host the Junos, host the Memorial Cup, host whatever tournaments.
Yeah.
You cannot host these if you have seating, the amount of seating we currently have in the Sudbury Arena.
Yeah.
No, first of all, an old arena you can't host it in, and one with limited seating. You need a certain amount of seating to host these things, larger events. And if you're going to bring these things to the city, so if you think if it's going to cost an extra $50 million to make an extra, like to double the seating, let's say, and then you do the math on that of if you can get the Memorial Cup, get a Junos, get a whatever, you've already paid back that $50 million in revenue to the city by having more seating in the arena.
Yeah.
But they're going forward with the same amount of seating as we currently have. So that's like you're building this massive hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're not now thinking of the future of bringing in these kinds of events that are going to bring revenue. You can't even host them.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing it for? Just so your OHL team and your basketball team can have a newer place to be in, the new dressing room? You know what I mean? It doesn't change any of the lay of the land. It doesn't bring too many other artists, other than the fact that some artists won't come to the Sudbury Arena because it's not up to code.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. I'm going to assume, and you know what they say about assuming, that
Sure.
A lot of this has been calculated and determined. You don't think so?
I don't know if it has.
Yeah. And you might be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that if it's going to be probably a real exorbitant price tag to include these other things, that it's just, the public optics, there'd almost be no way of getting that through.
I got an idea. Why not be the first OHL team that plays in an outdoor arena? We'll just make an outdoor arena with a little thing over it, and you bring your own lawn chair.
Well,
that way,
price would be right.
Yeah, that's it. And it doesn't matter really where you build it. Build it in some farmer's field somewhere, and we'll be the only one that plays outside. It's cold enough up here to do it, so why not?
Yeah.
Maybe we can have the outdoor theater right there, all the outdoor theater, outdoor hockey arena. Really cheap as we can build it. But we can build, that way we got more money for the library downtown.
Yeah.
Because that's the important thing, is having a $100 million
private
library.
enterprise. You could take that on.
That's for sure. Yes, you could do that. I don't know. To me, Sudbury, unfortunately, is something to be proud of. I guess we're the happiest city. I don't know really who did that study, but we're the happiest city a few years ago. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
They must have based it on you alone. You must have been a big part of that.
Sometimes they do like weird metrics when they calculate that, Maybe there's a certain prescription that's really high in Sudbury. And
yeah. Now, the reason why I say that is because Billy is the happiest guy I do know.
Wow.
And it's, it's common knowledge.
Doesn't jive with my personal perspective, perception.
But this is the thing, though. I mean, really, I want to be proud of the city I'm from. But honestly, everyone, you go to a Sudbury Wolves game currently and you sit in the crowd and you see the OHL team coming in going, wow, we're playing in the oldest arena there is. And, it definitely needs some lipstick put on it. And it's we score a goal and a taxidermied wolf comes out on a clothesline right to the other team's bench so they can just look up and you see them kind of snickering at it. It goes back. And for a lot of Sudburyans, and I understand this, there's a lot of sentimental feelings about that because you associate it when you went to the game with your family when you were young and you remember that, and it's iconic in that respect. But if you don't have that, if you don't have those ties, it is kind of old school. I think back in the 30s that was cutting edge. You know what I mean?
It's kind of ironic because Sudbury's kind of also famous for like tearing down its old buildings just to put up
new ones,
quick, cheap, and new ones.
Yeah, quick, cheap, and new though. That's
so
where
the
you
arena kind of counterbalancing that, right? It's
oh my goodness. And then
can't make everybody happy.
And then you go out and it's just like the places around. Look what's around the Sudbury Arena right now. You know what I mean? The teams are getting on their bus, and there's the Lido Hotel right there, and then the farmers market, and they go to the town. Let's go and get a bite to eat at the Townhouse.
Yeah.
So their impression of Sudbury is the Townhouse, the Sudbury Arena, and the Lido Hotel.
Rocks.
I understand for us.
Great burgers.
The best burger in town. I know that.
The best beet burger.
Look, that's the thing. We're all sentimental about these things.
That is a nice strip, though. That little, I call it the Sunset Strip.
You
because
love
if
it.
you go there in the evening when the sun's setting, it's
I know.
all the great patios.
But again, if you're trying to attract tourism and other people coming, when you're from here, it's got that, that lived in feel, and that's fine. And I think you could have the best of both worlds. You could have that.
Yeah,
I'm a proponent of actually refurbishing the Sudbury Arena myself.
Well, I'm not against it myself.
Cutting costs, that would be you could really make that place an edifice like nobody's business. But again, it's politics. It's people involved in the decision making. There's a lot going on that we have no clue, absolutely no clue of the decisions and what's going into these decisions that are being made. All I know is that it stops things from happening. And then when things go ahead, you look back and you go, really? Was that really the thing that we really needed? Kind of thing. That's what, to me, this seems the thing that happens in the city.
It could. I mean, there's another side to it too. We have a lot of, we could say we have like some fierce downtown advocates, which is really awesome because they are really pulling for downtown.
For sure.
So,
and
again,
rightfully so.
When we're comparing this, I don't know if North Bay has that level of intensity of debate between, the outskirts. Where was the arena put down there? Was it downtown?
It is downtown.
It is, eh?
And their downtown is different than ours. It's kind of a long downtown. The Sioux, their arena is downtown as well.
Yeah.
The Sioux did a really interesting thing. They did what we should have done if we were going to make a brand new building downtown, put the new event center arena in the parking lot beside the arena while you're tearing down the other one. You're building right beside it.
Okay.
And then you make the parking lot where the old arena was. So that way you're just swapping parking lot for arena. And that's exactly what the Sioux did. They just swapped out the old parking lot and they moved the arena into what was the parking lot before and then made the old arena where it was a parking lot, and they had the exact same amount of parking. They never lost any.
That'd be a good idea before these big projects are embarked on is...
talk to people?
Well, no, make a documentary. Have the city council, if they want to spend a couple $100,000, go make a documentary of like all the stories of the different arenas in the past 5 years that have been built in like similar cities, and then you can circulate this documentary locally and you get a really good cross section of like what works, what doesn't work, different things people have tried. And because documentaries are a good way to educate people. It's gathering all of the information
Data.
to one,
Yeah, and then presenting
pile.
the story, right? Presenting the facts in a way that you can make your own decision, basically. And a conversation is similar to that too, like we're having now. Like, let's say we could have somebody in the know, which we are not in the know. We have the reports from the media that we're going off of, but that's pretty much, we're in the same boat as anyone listening or watching here. We are citizens of the community, and I think that's where we're having this conversation. And if I was a councillor or would-be councillor wanting to run, or a would-be mayor or the mayor currently, I would be listening to a show like this and really kind of getting a feel and watching and reading the comments and listening to the comments of people in the community, how they're feeling, and comments on social media too. The very thing that they're trying to inhibit from happening, according to their new policy. They don't want comments to come on any of their pages because then they're responsible for them. So now they're going to cut down the conversation even more and know even less about what their citizens are asking for or want than they've known previously. So I think they're heading in the wrong direction. I think they're going to continue to head in the wrong direction. And we see the results of that if you compare it to other cities, including the one that this councillor is proposing. If you just look at North Bay, why are they able to do things there and we're not able to here? And look at their hospital. They built that hospital. They're kind of on budget. We tried building this hospital here. We were way over budget, way behind time. Try getting parking at our hospital. You can't park. There's no parking. We don't have enough parking for our hospital here. So, wow, what an oversight when you're a builder, you know what I mean? Yeah, we don't have enough parking here. Anyone who's been to the hospital visiting a loved one knows that that's true. There's not enough parking. Talk to anyone who works at the hospital, they'll tell you the exact same thing. So you think you go to build a building, you think, okay, how many people do we expect to come here? We need X amount of parking. There's a lot of common sense that should go into a lot of these big projects that we do in the city, but I don't think there is common sense. And I think, what is the reason for that? Are there other parties, entities that are thwarting us just building things that make sense and are practical and they're efficient and then they make the money back after they build them? Like, we're making things like this library. One of the comments was, people don't go to our libraries now. And all they're going to do is close down all the community libraries. Close down Levac, close down Coppercliff, close down Hanmer, close down all these libraries that are all around and then put them all downtown. And the people that are already, barely going to the ones here, and they only go to them because they're local, are not going to drive all the way downtown and go to a library. I know that already.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah. So it's amalgamating is what it's really doing.
Mm-hmm.
How many jobs will be lost? People working in libraries. You know what I mean? Like, all your jobs will be lost because you're not going to all fit in that one library, even if it is $100 million.
Yeah, and it's a good chance that the decision makers in that too. They're looking at bottom lines too. That's the whole
And
whole
they go
story
ahead.
of our century, right?
But this is the thing. They're going ahead. They voted. They're going to build this library, and they don't even know what's happening to the Sudbury Community Arena yet. Like, that's what I mean. You're going ahead, making plans, voting on things, and being resolute while all these things aren't resolved yet. What's going to happen to the Sudbury Arena? We don't even know if they're going to vote down the CAD. So we don't have a new arena, but yet they're going to take up the only parking lot downtown to build a $100 million library. And when I say $100 million library, I'll also say art gallery and theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And no parking now. If you want to go to the darn thing, you got to park on the roof of the Sudbury Arena.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where are you going to park? Underneath Tom Davies Square? There's no parking down there. All the city workers take up all the parking there because they were smart when they built that building. They built enough parking for the building itself. That was a well-constructed building that is useful and practical and whatever when you look at it. It's hard to really poke holes in it.
Sorry, which building's that?
The Tom Davies Square, the City Hall.
Right.
Yeah. And then they had the police station there. Everything was well thought out. Bell even has their own kind of building there as well. So it's a little bit of a commercial. It's got federal, provincial, local governments in it. Well thought out. Biggest building in Sudbury, kind of iconic. All those things. It's everything. But it's also practical. It makes sense. And a lot of the people, like when you got to go to the police station for something, where are you going to park? If they put the new library in that parking lot.
Ironically, I tend to get tickets when I go to the police station.
Already, and there's a big parking lot across the street from it. And that's the thing. So now parking is going to be even less. And so if you really do care about downtown, you want to bring people there, an arena that's downtown would make sense with all of these things, along with the parking structure, just makes sense. Parking structure, that way, our downtown, North Bay's downtown is really long. The Sioux's downtown is really long, covers the waterfronts in both of those cities. Sudbury is unique, and it could be a plus in that we have a very condensed downtown. So if you have a parking structure that's located centrally downtown, anyone can park in that parking structure and go to any place from that one parking structure. It's very unique. It would make total sense to have something like that. You'd have all the parking you need and then start bringing people downtown and making it a place people want to go. But you need parking first and foremost.
Yeah, you might be crossing over into the debate between, like central planning, and kind of the
future
central
of less
planning
cars.
and, free market kind of debate, right? Where it's like, all right, no, you guys in your private parking lots, we're taking them over. We're going to organize everything, and maybe that's the difference between Sudbury and North Bay. Maybe there's a lot more of that sort of very balanced libertarian sort of
balanced between government and private. Correct. Yeah.
And it's been a big struggle here in Sudbury too. I think balancing those things.
It's a huge struggle here for sure. Like these are some and I think I'm not the sharpest cookie kind of thing when it comes to all kinds of stuff. I don't have an engineering degree. I don't have all of these things, but you would say, like for me saying that, who would say that that's a terrible idea to build a central parking structure downtown so that way we have enough parking and you can get to everywhere?
It's probably a devil in the details kind of situation where it's like everyone would agree, but now
how do you make that happen?
See,
that's the very question we have. Who do you got to get through to have common sense, get to be shovels in the ground and get to pour some concrete?
Yeah.
Like, okay, common sense needs to be built. Now, what is going on on that journey A to Z? Who are the players and what is the red tape and why can't we just do that? What's going on? That's a question that I have.
Yeah.
You know, why can't we just come out with clear...
find an answer for that. But, you know, a lot of times when I do have conversations with people who are deeper under the hood, there's like a lot of times some pretty good reasons. It's like,
well, that's what I mean. I just want to know.
Well, that's way more deeper than I realized that there's issues for that.
Oh my goodness. We'll still be talking about this for a while. And now it's funny because I did say...
Unless this is a season finale tonight.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to be the end. Believe me. No. I think there's more to come. Coming to a station near you about what's, you know, all this drama about the kid and the arena. And when I say it should be built downtown, it's just because that's a common sense thing. Now, if you vote to have it outside of the downtown, well, then now other common sense has to take place. If that's not going to happen, you're going to build it out there. It's not the end of the world. I mean, other cities have done it and other cities have regretted it. Ottawa for one.
Right.
And now they're fighting to get one downtown after building it in one of the suburbs. And Phoenix, Arizona, they built theirs in a suburb as well, and they regretted doing that. So I'm just talking about two of the ones that I know of that have done it. But anyways, I guess we are going to find out what happens at City Council today. They're going to vote on it, whether or not they accept this new streamlined proposal of $150 million, which you know what that means. They're going to say, okay, and costs are going to go up no matter what. They're going to vote on the $150 million. It'll end up being the same amount anyways or more.
Yeah.
Because that's what construction does. Yeah. Oh, sorry, cost just went up.
Well, anyone who's built something,
we know that.
That's just what happens.
They just need to get it through. Okay, we'll build it for $10. Okay. We started, wait a minute. Yeah, no, it's going to cost more. They just need the green light. And some of us are just like, green light already. Just do it. Build the darn thing. Get it over with. And that's an unfortunate thing. Because then a lot of things that could have been thought out ahead of time aren't going to be addressed.
True. Although one of my favorite quotes is, a good plan today is better than the perfect plan tomorrow. And that's.
I agree with that.
It all depends, I guess, where your balance lies in the spectrum. That's my own personal. I'm a hesitator, so I gotta.
You need your own Netflix
jump on things
series.
a little bit quicker. Yeah,
that's right. Billy Brumiller is the hesitator.
Yeah. Not much would happen except at the very end of the show after.
I could just see a bunch of people, this is going way too fast. This is going way too fast. Oh, wait. Call we need some hesitation here.
That's like
That's your
like the
superpower.
coolers in casinos where it's like, that guy's winning. Have this guy sit beside him.
He'll slow him down.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for being with us, everyone. We'll see what council decides today. We'll be talking about that tomorrow and some more things. We'll get to more Sudbury News talk tomorrow. Same time, same station. Stay tuned now on CKLU for Earshot Daily. That's the show. Thanks, Billy. It's been awesome.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks all y'all for being on. If it wasn't for you, we'll share some stats, some really cool stats that it's because of you that the page is growing and the show is catching on. So thank you very much. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Sudbury News Talk.